This Vancouver neighborhood is taking charge of climate change in their own backyard, block by city block.
Through this workshop series, we will guide participants through identifying what climate change means to their neighborhood and then turning that into their own visions of what their neighborhood can look like if it's more climate friendly. So let's begin.
Cheryl Ng is the leader of a University of British Columbia initiative that asks people to first consider climate change by simply walking their local streets.
And if you can get tape measures from me, that will be great.
And taking a closer look.
We want you to count the trees very quickly. It's not very super scientific, it's just a rough estimate.
Are the rooftops dark, absorbing hot sun? Or are they a space for plants to grow? Is there greenery on the ground? Or is it blacktop as far as the eye can see?
Can you see, hear, notice anything that emits carbon?
The goal is to engage everyday people in achievable change that's rooted right in their own communities.
We wanted to turn all this negativity into positivity instead. And we thought, well, what better way to start than to just, go to people right where they live.
Cheryl Ng hopes these workshops will teach people to see climate change solutions in their daily lives.
Hello.
Hi, Rory.
Hi, come on in.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Rory Filer is in this workshop. And after last summer's heat dome, he started thinking about what he could do about climate change, an idea that literally started as a seed.
On 32nd here, it's full of trees, full of chestnuts and acorn oak trees. So I had the idea to pick up some of those chestnuts and acorns and try to sprout some trees out of them.
6 sprouts later, minus lunch for a few squirrels, one growing chestnut tree remains. Rory is hoping his future tree will not only help provide shade for the increasingly hot days, but help to pull out and store carbon from the atmosphere.
Well, I have 2 girls, and they're pretty young, and I want to make sure that there's not that the effects of climate change are minimal for them and for their children.
Planting a tree here and a tree there might seem modest, but researchers say if Canada is going to achieve its Paris climate goals, that's reducing emissions 30% by 2030, some of it is going to have to come from suburban neighborhoods, like this one. Half of the country's residential blocks will have to be carbon neutral in 9 short years.
We do have to find ways to make that connection to just local people, ordinary folk, who are trying to figure out what to do, and there is this enormous anxiety about all the doom and gloom, and it's depressing what the impacts might be if we don't make these changes.
For Stephen Shepard, thinking about how to close this gap has been his life's work. 5 years ago, he started the Cool Kits project in Vancouver, which has now evolved into the current walking workshops.
What are you going to do about climate change? You can deny it's happening, you can be very worried about it, or you can actually do something about it, especially if it's fun and positive and makes a difference, and make something visible on the ground.
And it's catching on. He's now working with groups in places like Mississauga and Vancouver Island. This template can be adapted to work anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. You can picture it if you try. A few solar panels here, a garden box there, a few extra trees. This is the stuff inspiring neighbors who've never thought of themselves as climate change trailblazers until now.
Encouraging my community, my neighborhood to take on initiatives. Maybe they're simple at first, a community garden, to more elaborate, like looking at bike routes within our neighborhood.
So while the world meets in Glasgow, this community and the research team urging them on will be working toward a change they're invested in.
I'm hoping to act on climate change as soon as possible and make a better future.
A brighter future built neighborhood by neighborhood. Johanna Wagstaff, CBC News, Vancouver.